Hey guys, it's Gail with Everything Nash, and we are here with about to be the newest members of the Grand Ole Opry, the Isaacs. And I'm so excited we finally get to chat before your big night. So talk to me, we're like hours away, and I don't know that I've ever talked to an artist this close. So talk to me about what it feels like right now, knowing that in a few hours you're about to be Grand Ole Opry members.
Well, first of all, let's say it's good to see you again. Last time we saw each other was on the Grammy red carpet.
Many years ago, and I told you off camera that I felt short even in my uncomfortable shoes. But it's very nice to see you too.
6'6" plus hat and shoes. So it is one of the most humbling experiences in our lifetime. You know, I did a little research and saw that in the 96 years of the Grand Ole Opry, we are number 216 to be asked to be inductees. So if you think about that for a little bit, and as big as the world, you know, the country music world, or even everything that they appeal to, the Americana, bluegrass, it's overwhelming.
It's humbling.
Yeah, I say to myself, I'm afraid like today's not going to end, or like, I don't know how to explain what I'm saying. I know the day's going to end, but will we be members at the end of this day? Because it can't come soon enough. Because you're like, oh, will I make it to the Opry? You know, like all night in my sleep, I was like, what if my car breaks down and I don't make it to the Opry? What if you know what I'm saying? What if I trip and fall on my way to the Opry and I don't get to go? It's just like silly, it's like crazy stuff, but it's like, it's so surreal.
I felt the same thing.
Yeah.
Two minutes down. Sonia finally made it.
Oh, hey, Sonia. I was talking about you to Carly Pierce just a couple weeks ago.
I love her.
I love her too. We had this whole little, oh, we love Sonia's voice moment. Anyway, we're talking about how you feel hours away from being a Grand Ole Opry member. Care to chime in?
Can I chime in?
Yes, anybody can chime in.
Morning. Anxious, but I feel so humble. It's like I want to cry all day. I don't know if that makes sense. Just humbled that we'd be that place in our career after 50 years of blood, sweat, and tears, and just it's in such an honor. And the only way I can explain it, I feel so humbled about it that I want to cry all day. Does that make sense?
It's emotional.
Emotional, right.
I feel like it's been a little bit hectic today. There's a lot going on, and we have a lot of friends and family that came from out of town that we're trying to entertain. And, you know, we've got a wonderful bunch of amazing friends that are going to be in the audience tonight, and friends that are coming backstage that are other artists and things that we're just really blown away by their support and love, and we just really are in shock still.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you take me to that moment? I might have shed a tear or two. Also, I love Ricky Skaggs. When you were invited, at what point did you realize, oh my goodness, this is actually happening?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, you know, Ricky is a dear friend of ours, and you know, we've known Ricky my whole life. I was raised around Ricky Skaggs, and he says that he only knew 10 minutes before he did it because he really was not acting weird or anything at all. But it was one of those things. We were having our album release party on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry. And Ricky comes out with this plaque, and I'm sure you've seen it, but it says, hey, as in Opry fashion, because they make a plaque for everything, this is to commemorate the Isaacs' performance of The American Face on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry. Everybody claps, you know, and we're like, oh, that's so cool. And he goes, and to see if you'd be interested in being the newest members of the Grand Ole Opry, whatever the wordage is, to an invitation. And that's when we lost it.
Took a few seconds to process it though. Like,
it was
we just hear that.
Yeah, it was. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. I always thought, how am I going to react if they ask me? Because you know, we've played the Opry for 30 years, and it's one of those things that you always hoped for, but never ever really. It hadn't happened, so you didn't know how you were going to react. I mean, I literally felt like laying down on the circle and crying.
No. You could have.
Overwhelming.
Well, you should have, because Darren Benson did that.
You can do that tonight.
You know, there have been a lot of general managers backstage at the Opry that have come and gone in this, as he said, 30 years that we've been privileged to be guests on the Grand Ole Opry. And as everyone came and went, we thought, well, shucks, they really liked us because they kept inviting us to, to sing on the Opry, but yet the invitation never came. And there were a lot of other very, very deserving, I think probably more deserving artists that they had inducted throughout the years. And so I guess for me, it just kind of felt like, I don't think they're ever going to do it because we're already coming, they don't need us to be members for us to come here all the time. And but it was important to them, and it was important to us, for that to be official. And we asked Dan Rogers, who's the current general manager, we said, now that we're Opry members, like, what's our obligation? What's our duty? And he said, you're already doing it. We just ask that you come and play and, and be part of the family. And there may be some things come up that we have you do, but pretty much you're already doing it. So we really feel like we've been part of the family for a long time. It just hadn't been officially said.
One of the crew guys came to me and he sent me a text actually after we got our invitation that night and said, hey, just wanted you to know you guys have felt like family for as long as I've been here, but now this is legit. Welcome. It's really cool.
I've heard several artists say that that's for them the best part, the camaraderie and the support among other artists.
Sure.
It is very cool. We've been blessed to be families with all kinds of outlets. We were part of the Gaither Homecoming family and part of different things in our career. RFD family, the Wednesday night prayer meeting people, and Larry's Country Diner family. And so this felt like it just kind of is like you get a wedding, an engagement ring, and then suddenly you get the wedding band put on. Then it just
I wouldn't know what that feels like.
Right. So, but it just seals the deal. And it is definitely family. A lot of the people that are backstage at the Opry, we ask questions, how's your family? How's, you just dig deep and you pray for one another. And if someone is not feeling well, you reach out and you wish them happy, you just become a family, and it's so cool.
I want to end with the Opry, but I want to talk real quick about your album. I don't want to let it go without talking about that. The American Face. What a great and innovative project.
Thank you so much. This project has actually been 2 years in the making. We started it in the summer of 2019. And, Brian Sutton co-produced it with Ben. And it was just a project that we always wanted to do. We've had a lot of opportunities to play in more, I guess, what you would consider secular markets and arenas, performing arts centers in the last year. And it was really picking up more for 2020. And we said, we just really need some songs that they can relate to, the people that are kind of built-in crowds that don't really know the Isaacs music or aren't that familiar with us. So we recorded about 6 cover songs and did them Isaac style, and then we wrote 6 new songs. And so for us, it's the first time we've ever released a whole album of songs that are not considered gospel songs. So it was just, but the American Face song itself is just seems to be a very important message today, that as divided as we seem to be in our country, that it takes every single one of us to make America as wonderful as it is and to make America great. So we're just celebrating our differences and trying to put a message out of let's all just love our country that gives us the freedom to be who we are.
Can one of you, before we get back to the Opry, can one of you just talk a little bit about what your message would be to people? You're obviously people of faith. Life is hard right now. What's your message to people?
Well, I think our message to people, in my opinion, is that there is hope. Mm-hmm. And so many people right now feel hopeless with all the commotion that's been going on in all of our lives. We've been places where they may not be maybe in Christian venue, it may be a secular venue. And so we never want to, be so vocal about what we do that we don't hear. And I think transparency is important. And when people identify with you, they listen. And so we all get to tell our stories. And I think the most important thing I want people to walk away with is there's hope in a better tomorrow. However that looks for somebody, I think that's what's important to us, is to have that hope.
We recorded an album in 2020. All our dates were canceled, and so we were stuck at home. We did some Facebook Lives and YouTube things, but we asked all of our fans to recommend songs that they wanted to hear us sing for an album we called Songs for the Times. And in the spring of last year, and we recorded it, and it was all songs that just are songs of hope and remind us of God's faithfulness and his love for us, and that he's not going to bring us into a wilderness and leave us here. He's going to walk with us. He's going to provide for us, just like he did the Israelites. And in the end, we're going to be in the promised land. It's just a time where we have to really trust him. And so this album has done really well. And it was a lot of fun for us to do it because people were watching us on social media record the whole album. They were stuck at home and gave us all something to do, and it kept us connected. So it was definitely an album of hope.
And plus you got to see how bad Sonia really sang.
How many times it takes me to get it right. It was fun. It was pressure.
It is. When you've got 1,500 people watching you make a record all the time. And it was funny is because they all thought they were producers as well. So they would comment, good take, man. Good take, Sonia. Nope, there's one more better.
That one. I like the other one.
Yeah.
Well, you guys were very brave to do that. Okay, let's end with this. Can you, each of you, in your own words, tell me what this night and being members of the Opry means to you?
I'm going to start because I always get last and I always have to catch what's left over. You know, I feel like it is the biggest attaboy that you can get. You know, it's a peer appreciation thing. You know, we've been, our family this year celebrating 50 years of music. This year in 2020, we were the newest inductees into the GMA Hall of Fame. And to have the Opry to come along beside that and say, we want you to be a part of this family. For me, it's a big acceptance thing. That's probably one of the biggest things I think that I feel like, because it's nostalgia. I mean, there's no financial blessings from it other than just being a part of it. Yeah.
Good answer.
For me, I would say, growing up, the Grand Ole Opry was always the pinnacle of success. And, just growing up, listening to the Opry or watching the Opry and all the people that were on the Opry were the people that had made it and the people that you always looked up to. And so, God's timing is perfect. And for whatever reason, he has chosen to reward us with this amazing blessing this year. And so we feel very humbled. We are not puffed up. We don't feel worthy. We feel we have worked hard our whole lives. And so we're grateful for this honor, but we're certainly humbled that of all the artists that they could have chosen that they asked us. So we're on cloud 9 forevermore.
I think for me, it represents relationship and longevity. We've been playing the Opry for 30 years, and we've become friends with Jim Ed Brown and Bill Monroe and people like Charlie Daniels and people that have passed away, Jimmy Caps, and we got to know them in a relationship way, in a friendship way, and to have longevity relationships, and like the family comes into mind. We're doing Will the Circle Being Broken as our finale tonight, because we have gotten so much great response from our peers talking about how they wanted us to be part of that family. And so I think more than any accolade it can put on my shelf, it represents that we've cried with these people, we've laughed with these people, we've become friends, and we've established relationships, and they're eternal relationships. They're the earthly and eternal relationships. So for me, that's the thing that gets my heart.
And I have to say that I feel honored because I'm an immigrant, and my parents were Polish Jewish Holocaust survivors, and my children are firstborn Americans. So we're living the American dream. And just this morning, I noticed my citizenship paper on my dresser, and I got really teary-eyed. I thought, this is such an honor for our family to be connected with this big family of Opry members. And it just made me kind of sad that my parents wouldn't be here to see how you guys have grown up and succeeded in what we do. They're seeing it. But anyway, it's just, it's unbelievable. And I feel like we're living the American dream today. So that's what it means to me.
Well, congratulations. I absolutely adore all of you, and I wish you nothing but the best. And I will be watching tonight.
Yay!
Thanks, Sam.